It's really just a race to the bottom for some people, isn't it? And the last 3 days after the failed assassination attempt has exposed something truly sinister. It's that there's a segment on the far left that's actively cheering on political violence, and we saw exactly that when a flurry of new TikToks flooded the platform of users lamenting the fact the assassin missed. But I want to use these clips as a jumping board to talk about something seriously wrong with the political discourse on the left, so subscribe to the channel and take a look at this before we dive in.
Literally had one job. One job. A job that lots of other people wish they could have, and you had it, and you missed. How the did you miss? Not only did you miss, you didn't even graze him. You didn't even pinch the bitch. Now you're about to go get waterboarded for no reason. You didn't even complete the mission. Charlie is upset. I hope your parents are super disappointed in you. How could you?
I just found out about this shit. It just happened. I haven't even had a second to process. You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew and he missed! We were a second away! We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone and you missed! There was a white man attached to that trigger. I know it! We were a centimeter away! Ah!
My dad just called me to tell me that Trump got shot, and I said good over the phone. And he was like, don't say that over the phone. Like, you can't say that over the phone. And I just want to make this as a public apology to my FBI agent. I don't believe in guns, but I just wanted to support a good cause.
Are these the people that call themselves the good guys? The political temperature around Donald Trump has been simmering all the way back from 2015, and we've landed at a point where a segment of the far left is so subsumed by their self-righteousness and blind hatred for Trump that even all-out political violence is celebrated. Just think back to how many times Donald Trump has been compared to the German dictator in the last few years. I mean, just last year, the Washington Post itself gave its readers the pass to make that comparison, and then people wonder where political violence comes from. Here's the thing about heated rhetoric: even if millions harbor that hatred in their heart, all it takes is one deranged individual to actually carry forward with translating it into action like we just saw. The proof of those millions sadly is with the people like in these next clips that fail to recognize the line that goes from hatred to actual violence.
The message to whoever shot at Trump: use the lame ass. It's hot of. Did you shoot and miss? No, if you have a mission, make sure you hit that target the right. You ain't practice before you get your ass over there? Huh? You was nervous? Your hand was shaking?
John Wilkes Booth, if you can hear us, if you are with us, please, John Wilkes Booth, if you're listening, please.
Let me get this straight. Damn it! You have a fully reloaded shotgun, but you chose to use a one bullet.
We're not even sending our best to assassinate. Cause what the hell was that? Lee Harvey Oswald would never, bitch. John Wilkes Booth would never.
Today was like this close to being the best day ever.
Also, the person that at Trump at his rally was exercising that right that all those Republicans were fighting for. So can you really blame him?
What? That's the dumbest thing I've heard. Is the basis of the Second Amendment the right to end presidents' lives? But that's a whole different discussion, because it's moments like these that make you realize some people are too far gone to even argue with. I just listened to The View speak about hate and rhetoric in our politics after the attack on Trump, but not once do you see a recognition that it's a problem growing rapidly on the far left, and the reason is that the left has always positioned itself on a moral high ground and has blinded a segment of them to their own hatred and penchants for violence, even as they spiral to the farther and farther left. As when that happens, you end up with people like these TikTokers, though unfortunately we've seen examples of that happening much earlier with Kathy Griffin, doing the egregious photo shoot holding the disembodied head of then president. Now, I agree to her right to speech, but that was a little tasteless. And if you look at places like CNN and much of the leftist MSM today, it seems like turning up the knob on political temperatures has become so second nature that it occasionally just slips their tongue when at least they want to. Watch CNN contributor Kate Bedingfield say the Democrats need to, quote, turn the fire on Donald Trump just days after an attempted assassination on him. She quickly had to correct herself in that insightful-sounding language.
He has said many times, after having been questioned many times about this, that he's not stepping down and he's going to be the nominee. So at some point, Democrats have to decide that they want to try to win this election and turn their fire on Donald Trump. I think there is I shouldn't have said turn their fire. I apologize. That was not the phrase that I meant. They need to turn their focus on Donald Trump.
The political temperature reaches its boiling point at some time, and had Donald Trump not survived that heat, would have spilled much over to envelop much larger than a single person or party. But fortunately, we just got to see some reassuring visuals yesterday when Donald Trump himself walked out of the Republican National Convention in his first public appearance since Saturday. He looked shaken and more somber and yet firm in his conviction. It also looked like he was moving to tears when the crowd started chanting the word fight.
Please welcome Mark Laws from Cedar Springs, Michigan.
Truly moving visuals, but if you ask CNN, that's not an acceptable thing to say anymore. In literally the first few hours of the coverage, we saw this tone-deaf comment on CNN, with the platform instead reversing the blame on Trump to suggest that the chant fight, 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 like he's did, is actually what fuels political violence and polarization. Just take a look at this.
I do want to say there was one thing that when I watched the tape, I found odd because of all of the heated rhetoric. And that is that after he was hit, former President Trump got up and said, fight, fight, fight. I think what we're hearing from people is that's not the message that we want to be sending right now. We want to tamp it down.
Yeah, I would just know one thing on this, to that point.
Is this what the MSM has come to? And is it any wonder that no one trusts them anymore? You can be sure even their Democratic voters would be at home rolling their eyes and thinking this isn't what Trump meant. Not to mention the complete failure to read the room about what had just happened and how everyone was shook at the moment. And for what it's worth, President Joe Biden tried putting out a lengthier statement later that day, condemning the attempt on Trump's life, but was littered with the usual incoherence and gaffes that we're basically used to at this point. From wanting to resolve issues at the battle box, Biden almost even said that he wants to make America great again.
In America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets. Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured. I spoke with him last night. I'm grateful. He's doing well, and Jill and I keep him and his family in our prayers. You know, we're blessed to live in the greatest country on earth, and I believe that with every soul, every power of my being. So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit, to think about it. What's made America so special? Here in America, everyone must be treated with dignity and respect.
That's arguably an improvement because in the first press conference, he even refused to call the attack an attempted assassination. Right now, as America reels from one of the most politically and potentially catastrophic incidents in a lifetime, it's working to reveal everyone's true character and positions. That includes people in the media, politicians, as well as some people on social media, telling everyone that they're too far gone for a reasonable conversation anymore. Destiny. Ultimately, it's up to the people still sane enough to realize this is the time to reflect, introspect, and understand that we can't be blinded to our own ideas and virtues to the point that we forget basic human decency.